This programme is sponsored by IG, official investment platform of England Cricket.
Trav, thanks very much for joining us, and thanks for your time. 150 in that first game. How thrilled were you with the start, and what pleased you most about the innings?
Just to win the game. Nice to contribute. So I feel like I'm in good form at the moment, and putting myself in good positions. Battled through the start of the innings, but I guess once I got to sort of 15, 20, I felt like I played really well.
For a fairly down-to-earth, undemonstrative Aussie, it was an extravagant 100 celebration. Tell us all about it. We've got it here on the monitor for you.
Mate, there's just a gag in the sheds, and it's mainly with Dan Vittori, but I've done it a couple of times, so
Struggled to get your helmet off at first.
Yeah, I know, I think he wasn't even watching. I think he was in the back room doing something. So
what's the story behind it?
Mate, no, it was a long night where we were just chatting away, and it was actually the night before Bangalore when I was lucky enough to get one in the IPL, so bit of a gag for him, so bit of fun.
You've been in absolutely ripping form the last 2 or 3 years. If we look at put your statistics up there since 2021,
put the mockers on me.
Across, well, possibly yes, but across formats, it's an incredible record, really. I mean, what's been working for you in all this time?
The environment that's created has been a very enjoyable one, and lots been spoken about the last couple of years. Obviously, probably about that Ashes series in 21 when I sort of lost a contract, etc., and I went away and thought if I get another chance, if I'm lucky enough to get another chance, I'd probably like to do it a little bit more my way, and that coincided with Ronnie and Pat and a few close friends in my team and who backed me in, and I went out and just sort of, if it's 2 or 3 test matches, if it's however long it's going to be, I want to go out doing it how I want to do it. So, look, it's worked. It's never ever guaranteed, and I was lucky that it started off well, but it quite easily could have been 1 or 2 tests. But it's been nice once to get on a roll to then be hungry enough and be willing enough to work still and get it done. I'm still, I've got hunger, and I still think about the game, but I'm trying to do it as relaxed and enjoyable as I possibly can.
Yeah, well, we've talked about it from the outside, this sort of perceived change in mindset. What actually was it that you've gone away and changed? Like you've flicked a switch and you've gone from being what looked like sort of a fragile test player to someone that's just dominating all 3 formats of the game.
I think mindset and technique and work and things that I did, they all sort of coincided. I'd done a lot of work, and I'd come to England, played a fair bit of county cricket with differences in success, but I think it tested me, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to play test cricket at that stage. I wanted to do well in test cricket, and I think I had that. I was probably trying too hard at some stages, but I tried to put all my eggs in the Red Bull basket, but also help my technique at the same time. And I knew when the time was right with one-day cricket and opportunity and all those things that would come, and and then just stayed relaxed. But I think I worked extremely hard on my technique, and then that coincided with not caring how it looks when I get out. I know that. Show me a good dismissal that ever looks pretty. I don't think anyone's ever got one, and I've got some of the worst, but that's okay, and that happens, and I think that, this is a perfect storm sort of happened, but then the challenge is once you get a couple of good innings, it's then the pressure of, can I do it? So I guess early in my test career, it's the nervous energy around, can I do it, and are you good enough? And now, after I've done it a couple of times, it's like, okay, can I still do it? Can I keep doing it? So that's where the nervous energy goes now.
It's a difficult question for me to ask him, so I won't ask him, but I'll ask you what makes him so difficult to bowl. If we look at some of the Hawkeye footage.
Yeah, we'll have a look at some of these graphics here. I mean, the thing that makes Travis hardest to bowl to, I think, is that the margin for error for the bowlers is so small. I mean, we'll have a look at some of these here. That little box there is where his strike rate drops down to 70. You get outside that anywhere, you get it straight of that, you get full of that, you get wide of that, the strike rate goes up to 145. So we've seen bowlers, right armers in particular, they start over the wicket, they try and take his angle away, they go around the wicket, but he's so good at scoring on both sides. And what you'll notice there with a lot of those boundaries, bowlers talk about hitting the top of off stump or the top of fourth stump. That's right in his wheelhouse. That's what he wants. He hits those balls better than anybody else. So when the bowlers see their good ball go, they're trying to adapt and adjust and try and find ways to shut him down. They haven't been able to do that so far. And if you look at that graphic, it's really interesting because it's a really small little square that you've got to be in. It's almost got to be over the top of middle stump. Otherwise, it's right where he wants it.
Talking about success across all formats there, which would you say is your best format? Or is that a hard question to answer?
That's a tough question. I actually find, it's going to sound weird, the shorter format, the tougher for me. I find T20 the hardest because there's run rate, there's pressure to score, there's an expectation that every time you go out, you've got to strike at 130, 140, 150. That's sort of going north as everyone's starting to hit it further. So there's expectation where Test cricket, I find, somewhat the easiest, because if I'm not feeling great, I can go as slow as I want, and then if I'm feeling really good, I can go as fast as I want, and there's no barriers to what you can do or how slow or how fast you can do. So from the playing side of things, I enjoy Test cricket the most, and I find it somewhat the easiest. It's the toughest in terms of conditions and technique and all those things, but the expectation is something that is always there in white ball cricket.
You were talking about the liberation you felt more recently, and you were making the point that the big games are when Travis has really pulled it off, you know, the World Cup final, or 50 over, and the World Test Championship final man of the match award. So kind of just a feeling that it's just another game, actually.
Well, that probably helps with his mind. I mean, he can answer that better than me, but the almost the carefree nature, and as he talks about not worrying about getting out, I think I said it post-game the other day, there's no negative results going through his mind. He's only ever seeing the positive. Well, that's what I think from the outside. I mean, there might be some negatives there somewhere, but...
It's a good mask.
Well, you said it. World Cup semi-finals, all right, but World Cup semi-final, World Cup final, World Test Championship. So there's no doubt that when you are free in the mind, it allows you to express yourself better and play the way that you want to play. And, you know, I've seen Trav's journey from his first ever Sheffield Shield game when he cleaned me up at bat pad on the offside. He whacked one in the machine and then started laughing at me. I thought, this kid's got something about him. So it's been a great journey to be a part of it. And he's got better and better. The thing I want to ask you is, now that you have had this sustained amount of success, what are you doing on a daily basis to make sure you keep it going and try and find ways to get better?
Always, I guess, working a bit harder, and they've got such a big lot of cricket coming up. So at the moment, I'm trying to make sure I'm here for all of it. I want to stay as fit as I possibly can be. Try and touch wood, stay injury free. But it's that, I think, going into big games and whatnot, I try and work, and I have a blueprint now where I want to do the work and do my technique stuff. It may not always be as long as some others or intense as some others. Some days it is. I batted for a hell of a long time at Notts a couple of days ago because it was a good background, good viewing day, and the nets felt good. And I was like, here's my time to get my body work in. So marry that up with a bit of time away from the game. But I think that's why I go in so relaxed, because I want to get all my technique stuff and want to feel good and go in, and then I know that I've done the work and can go out and play the game.
Final question, one-word answer. Is the Justin Langer Memorial bin from 2019 still in the Australian dressing room?
It's already been mentioned, I think, as soon as we walked in. Yeah, it's up there.
Thanks for your time. Go well today.
Big hole in it.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. Cheers.